Picture, if you will, a quiet stretch of California coastline, mist drifting in from the Pacific, and a gentle breeze carrying the faint scent of cypress trees. A lone figure stands there, hands in the pockets of a well-worn jacket, gazing out at the horizon. He doesn't say much, he never has, but behind those steely eyes lies a steadfast resolve and a deep sense of purpose. That man is Clint Eastwood. Many know him as the iconic actor and filmmaker, the embodiment of laconic cool in countless westerns and gritty dramas. Yet, tucked away in Carmel by the Sea, a small and enchanting town on the Monterey Peninsula, there exists another side to Clint Eastwood, a man devoted to preserving history, nurturing community, and safeguarding the natural beauty of the land he calls home. Carmel by the Sea is a place that seems taken from a storybook. Its streets wind among quaint cottages, boutique shops, and hidden gardens. The architecture, a blend of whimsical cottages and Spanish influences, tells the tale of a town built by artists, dreamers, and those who sought refuge by the water. For Clint Eastwood, Carmel was a refuge indeed, a setting far from Hollywood's bright lights, offering a slower rhythm that suited his own understated way of living. His story in Carmel began with a simple longing for peace and a deep appreciation for the natural splendor of the region. He first visited the area while stationed at Fort Ord during his Army days in the 1950s. Instead of the bustling city life, Eastwood found himself drawn to the fog-shrouded beaches, the emerald fairways of local golf courses, and the vibrant sunsets that lit up the Pacific waters. After rising to fame in Hollywood, he returned to Carmel with the intention of setting down roots. He didn't shout about it from the rooftops or seek to build an ostentatious mansion to proclaim his new life. Instead, he settled quietly, observing his surroundings, respecting the region's calm dignity. Eventually, he discovered Mission Ranch, a historic property just minutes from the old Carmel Mission. At that time, Mission Ranch was hardly the picturesque haven it is today. The property had fallen into disrepair, and there was real fear among locals that it might be sold off to developers who would forever alter the land's character. There were rumors of plans to demolish the old buildings and replace them with condominiums or a commercial complex. Progress, some might say. But to Eastwood, who appreciated unspoiled beauty and local heritage, it felt like something precious was about to be lost. This is where his man-of-action quality came to the fore. Buying Mission Ranch was not a casual decision. He poured a significant amount of money, time, and heart into restoring the site to its former glory. The transformation wasn't quick or easy. There were structural concerns, historical preservation requirements, and the logistics of renovating multiple older buildings. Yet step by step, Eastwood guided the project with an eye for authenticity, consulting architects, preservation experts, and local artisans to ensure that the ranch retained its original spirit. Over the course of several years, the battered structures took on a new life. What emerged was a charming collection of cottages and lodges surrounded by sprawling green meadows that rolled gently toward the ocean. Imagine waking at dawn in one of those rooms, the faint chorus of birds greeting the rising sun, the cool air carrying the distant thunder of the surf, and a view that captures the very essence of Carmel's pastoral beauty. In the evenings, the old farmhouse, now a convivial restaurant, fills with warm light and the soft buzz of conversation. Guests gather for a glass of wine, maybe a piano tune drifting from a corner of the room. It's a place built as much on heart as on hammer and nails, a reflection of Eastwood's desire to preserve what was already good and make it shine anew. Yet Clint Eastwood's involvement in Carmel goes beyond Mission Ranch. In 1986, he took on a new role, serving as the town's mayor. Yes, the man famous for his gruff characters in spaghetti westerns stepped into public office, albeit with the same quiet determination and directness for which he was known. His tenure as mayor was brief, just 2 years, but it left an indelible mark. He championed initiatives to maintain Carmel's small-town charm, limited overzealous development, and carefully balanced the desire to welcome visitors with the need to preserve the town's unique character. At a time when many communities along the California coast were succumbing to commercial pressures, Eastwood was one of the voices that said, "Enough." He worked alongside other local leaders and residents to protect the Monterey pines, cypress groves, and the old-world architecture that sets Carmel apart. It wasn't glamorous work. Town council meetings and permit discussions rarely are, but it was the kind of quiet, dedicated service that spoke volumes about Eastwood's priorities. He didn't need City Hall to build his name. He took that path because he believed in preserving a way of life that valued art, history, and the natural environment. Eastwood's other properties in the Carmel area also mirrored these values of privacy and simplicity. Rather than constructing sprawling mansions with towering walls, he favored residences that blended into the surrounding environment. Such places don't shout for attention. They exist in harmony with the land. Older buildings were often renovated or thoughtfully expanded instead of razed. Whenever possible, Eastwood used local materials and maintained the integrity of the landscape, ensuring that future generations could appreciate the same sweeping vistas he fell in love with so many years ago. It's said that Eastwood also purchased small parcels of land around the region, pieces that might otherwise have been developed. The specifics aren't always public knowledge, and that's consistent with the man's understated style. But locals speak in hushed admiration of his efforts to conserve small pockets of wilderness, to keep them free of commercial encroachment. Many a longtime resident will mention how they caught a glimpse of him now and then, perhaps driving through town in a modest car or standing quietly at the shoreline, seemingly lost in thought. A superstar by any measure, but in Carmel, just another neighbor who cares. Beneath the stardust of celebrity, Clint Eastwood's real estate legacy in Carmel is founded on a few core values that resonate with anyone seeking a sense of peace and belonging. First is privacy, not in the sense of exclusivity, but in the sense of living life away from the spotlight when the cameras aren't rolling. In a world that often trades in sensationalism, Eastwood's choice to build a discreet life speaks volumes about personal contentment and respect for boundaries. Second is simplicity. The man who played the man with no name could easily have built enormous estates. Instead, he took pleasure in creating comfortable, tasteful spaces that showcase the landscape more than his own wealth. And lastly, there's a profound connection to nature. Carmel's rugged coastline, its dense forests, and its hidden streams all find their way into Eastwood's portfolio in one form or another. In every project, you see a desire to maintain the land's authentic character, to let the natural beauty shine as the main attraction. The Mission Ranch project, in particular, stands as a testament to what's possible when history is cherished rather than abandoned. The ranch dates back to the 1850s, with ties to the early days of California's statehood. By preserving it, Eastwood did more than create a lovely destination for travelers and locals. He saved a piece of Carmel's soul, a link to an era long past. The ranch, with its old barn and cozy lodgings, is like a living museum, a reminder that progress doesn't have to erase what came before. Over time, that effort paid off. Mission Ranch is now celebrated not just for its comfortable rooms and scenic views, but for its authenticity. It's a place where you can still sense the pioneering spirit of the ranchers who once toiled on that land. You can hear echoes of cowboy boots on wooden floors, echoing the cinematic history that Clint himself so famously embodied. But you can also enjoy the ranch as it is in the present, a peaceful retreat, beloved by many, and a highlight of Carmel's offerings. As the evening light begins to dwindle, we come to a deeper reflection on what it means to leave a legacy carved in stone, or rather, carved into the very earth. For all the fame and accolades Eastwood has garnered, it might be that his real estate endeavors in Carmel are the most enduring. Think about it. Films can spark our imagination and remain in our memories, but the land has a physical permanence, a tangible reality. When properly cared for, it can outlast any one person's lifetime. That's what Eastwood appears to have aimed for, a legacy that not only bears his name, but continues to serve the community, keeps the town's spirit alive, and safeguards open space for generations to come. In many ways, this quietly parallels the roles Eastwood has played on screen. His characters are often guardians of justice or protectors of the vulnerable, even if they do so with grit and a certain hard edge. Off-screen, the man behind those characters chose to guard something else, a slice of California's heritage, ensuring it wouldn't be trampled by unchecked commercial expansion. For those of us who value history, charm, and a sense of place that isn't overwhelmed by modernity, this act is as heroic as any scene played out in a Western. Perhaps the next time you find yourself driving along the winding roads near Carmel, you might pass under the shade of an old cypress, see the rolling hills meeting the sea, and recall that someone cared enough to keep it this way. That's the essence of Eastwood's hidden kingdom by the sea. It isn't hidden in the sense that no one knows about it. Countless visitors come each year. Rather, it remains a quiet refuge, tucked within the broader tapestry of the Monterey Peninsula, protected from the garish neon of tourism that can overtake coastal towns. This is a kingdom where a cowboy can be a mayor, where history is cherished, and where the melody of the wind through the trees is more valued than the sound of honking traffic or clinking coin. And in this reflection, we see how homes and properties are more than bricks and mortar, or in Carmel's case, more than stone foundations and wooden beams. They hold the stories of those who lived in them. They bear witness to triumphs and struggles, to quiet conversations on porches, to gatherings where laughter filled the air on a summer's evening. When someone like Clint Eastwood invests so much of himself into preserving a place, he's doing more than real estate development. He's making a promise that some things, the best things, can endure. So, as the last light of the day dips beneath the Pacific, we linger on that image of Mission Ranch standing strong at the gateway to Carmel, a silent sentry to the town's history. We remember that behind every cinematic legend there's a person with hopes, values, and the determination to do right by the land he loves. Eastwood's hidden kingdom by the sea will outlast any headlines, any box office records. And maybe that's exactly how he wants it, a lasting testament to the notion that sometimes words are less important than the actions we choose to take and the legacies we choose to preserve. Thank you for joining me on this quiet journey into Clint Eastwood's Carmel. May it inspire each of us to value the places we call home, and in our own ways, to safeguard them for those who come after. And as we wander onward, let us carry with us a sense of gratitude for those who work, often without fanfare, to keep a corner of the world intact and in harmony with nature. After all, that's how a legacy is truly carved in stone and in hearts.